They never teach you what anything means, which is infuriating. They spent all this time teaching me Hebrew.
Oh, they teach you the sounds?
They teach you the sounds. I can read it. I can go, that says Brookatananai, but not the slightest fucking clue what it means.
What?
Doesn't that suck?
Wait,
I wish they taught me anything. You know?
So when you were mitzvahed, you have to like give, a speech in Hebrew. You didn't even know what you were saying. You're just reading the passage?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, pure memorization
of just noises.
Yeah, totally. Wow. That's how it is with all the songs and stuff too. Like me, Kamoka, Bayalim, Adonai. Not the slight. I know Adonai means God or whatever. God, yeah. I know the general gist is like, thanks, God. But I don't know.
Appreciate it, my guy.
Peace, dude.
Big up.
Welcome to Wolf Family Therapy. The doctors today are Jamie and Tyler, and the appointment will start briefly. Thank you for patiently waiting. The brothers will see you now.
Time for us. Did you grow up
anyway? Benny Feldman. Thanks for joining therapy.
Well, no, that actually was a good transition. I felt like because we grew up super agnostic. We went to temple. I went to temple. I'd say 3 times on the high holidays.
So you were raised agnostic?
Pretty much. Yeah, not a good idea, but they did it.
That's fun.
And we never went. I didn't know anything. I didn't read the Torah. I didn't know what the Talmud was until way later. I went to bar mitzvahs, but more as a secular celebration, a birthday party.
Yeah, there was one year where I went to temple a lot, and it was 7th grade when everyone else was getting bar mitzvah.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd usually, our mom would be the kind of parent that was like, "You should go to the service." I'd be like, "Oh, but what about
Let's
just the
go
party?"
To the party.
She would force.
She's like, "We're Jewish." I'm like, "No, we're not.
We're Jewish," and then we'd be sitting there like, "What the hell are they saying?
What language is this?" That's Hebrew.
But were you bar mitzvah?
I was raised.
No way, you were mitzvahed. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
I was raised Jewish
in Philly.
Outside of Philly,
yeah.
I was raised Reform. But I went to synagogue.
Benny has Tourette's.
I've got Tourette's.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. We'll get to that, but it's important to know because you do make some sounds that are Tourette's.
Yup. If I curse randomly, or shake or whatever,
yes,
don't worry about it.
Yes.
That's my opener.
Yeah. I was like, I've heard that before.
I can do it from heart now. I don't know. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. But okay, so yeah, my mom is not ethnically Jewish. She converted.
Wow.
So she was raised kind of agnostic Lutheran.
Yeah.
But then she switched to Judaism.
For your dad?
Well,
or?
He didn't ask her to.
Okay.
He's Jewish, but she kind of came to it. She just wanted to. She liked it a lot and was like, "Oh, that seems fun." She's getting bat mitzvah currently. She's going through the process of
your mom.
Yeah.
She already converted, but
wait, no
she
way.
Converted, she converted a long time ago. But she's
how old is she? She's not 13, right?
It's actually her birthday today.
Really?
Yeah. So happy birthday, my mom.
But she's middle aged, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's in her late 50s. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
So she's committed.
Yeah.
How was your?
Let's see. I think she's either turning. I don't know. Anyway, I think she's turning 57. I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to ask her. Yeah. When I sent a happy birthday text with a bunch of yellow emojis because she likes the color yellow. What were we talking about?
Your Jewish upbringing.
Oh yeah. So she really leaned into it, and so my dad he's ethnically and his dad was raised conservative, spoke Yiddish as a first language, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And so
not Orthodox conservative.
Not Orthodox conservative. We do have Orthodox cousins though. Second cousins. But my dad, let's see. Yeah, so basically we would go to the synagogue we go at least once a month for the family service night. But then I would go separately twice a week for Sunday school and Hebrew school, which are 2 different things for some fucking reason.
Sunday school and Hebrew school?
That's right, yeah.
This is both at synagogue? Sunday school wasn't, okay.
Yeah. And Hebrew school is once a week?
Yeah, Hebrew school is once a week. Sunday school is also once a week. But
Hebrew school is Saturday?
So Sunday school would be on Sunday, and then Hebrew school would be...
no, but Hebrew school.
That would depend on your grade. And you wouldn't go until later. I think you would go to Sunday school for sure when you're young. Sunday school would teach you what does it mean to be a Jew, what's the history of Jews, propaganda. As well as it would teach you the Holocaust and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Propaganda.
Like, whoa, okay.
No. I mean, but that is where I learned like, how to make Hamantaschen or like what Hamantaschen is and like that kind of stuff. Whereas Hebrew school is more specifically directly the language and like how to sight read Hebrew itself. And like that's like but then fucking.
So you can read the signs in my neighborhood.
No.
You
I
lost
can,
that ability.
No.
So you wouldn't. It sounds like you weren't like that religious then.
Oh, I'm personally deeply not religious.
But even as a kid?
Deeply. Are you on
it's a big issue actually.
Reddit threads about atheism?
I was for sure.
You were?
As a kid, yeah.
Okay.
Growing up.
Intense.
Yeah, it was. I mean, big. I know this is about the family, right? This is the podcast of the family premise.
Yeah.
Big clash between me and my family was that I hated it.
From what age?
11.
Okay.
I was young.
So before you were even mitzvah.
Do you
remember the
I didn't want to
source
get bar mitzvahed.
You didn't want to get mitzvah.
I just like.
You are mitzvah.
Yeah, I am. Okay. I mean, my parents made me.
Okay.
They made me go to confirmation stuff too. Even.
What?
Wait,
there's Jew confirmation. People don't know about this.
really?
Jew confirmation.
I don't know. What is
for
that?
Lutheran.
Just to be like, you are Jewish?
Yeah. Okay. Just like you get bar mitzvah and then you do like another 3 years of like just make sure.
How do they confirm it? Do they just talk to you for an hour?
It's a legal document.
He's clearly Jewish. I mean, that guy is Jewish. Benny Feldman, that's a Jew. Yeah, confirmed. It's just a box that says yes or
Eli
no.
Feldman. I feel like that confirms you right there.
It honestly
What's your name? Oh, yeah, that's a yes.
Yeah, you're actually good to go. You don't need to do the full 3 years.
Slap on the ass. Well, the priest dunks your head under the water, and then you eat the body of Christ. No, it's what was it? It was like you learned like Jewish civics. Is what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was dumb. It's dumb as hell. But I was kicking and screaming the whole time. I really hated it. But not like.
Why was that? Why didn't you believe so strongly?
I think I remember having like a crisis, or like I don't know, being like a young kid and like reading stuff online about how God wasn't real, and I just like thought about it, and then I just like everything about God not being real made so much more sense than like, I don't know, fucking the guy parting the water with a stick. Like I was just like, obviously that's bullshit. I don't know. Sorry to anybody that believes.
So it was like the literal stories that you read didn't jive with your lived experience.
Yeah. I mean, it's
bullshit.
Totally. Yeah. It just seemed like so much stuff was clearly made up, and like the idea of God. I don't know. I like literally Reddit stuff. Like literally, actually, Reddit atheism did genuinely change my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
At like 10?
I would say at 10 or 11, it was people. I don't know what it got to me then. I was definitely on Reddit more when I was like 15, but
your family's religious enough that you actually like kind of had to struggle with it, like yourself, of like, this doesn't feel like what they're saying is different than what I'm experiencing or feeling.
Yeah, I think part of it is that I was really afraid of death and dying, and so I would ask my parents. Okay, so when I was really young, somebody mentioned hell, right? And hell's not a thing in Judaism, as you guys know. And I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Freaked out?
Well, I didn't freak out because I was like, what? I had never heard of it before, so I wasn't like, oh, that's real. I was like, what? People believe that? But then I think because I didn't believe I think having the dominant wider culture of people believing in Jesus and then us not believing that is easy to like kind of unravel stuff quickly, going like,
yes,
well, Jesus in hell is bullshit. Oh, my stuff is also bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you like anti-establishment or like contrarian in other ways? Like towards school?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was a little fucker.
Okay, yeah.
No, I was absolutely anti-authority. I used to do pranks and bullshit and
what?
Yep.
What kind of pranks? Like in class, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Damn, it's been a while. Okay, so like for an extra credit assignment, one time I like wrote a whole essay, just like roasting the class and the teacher instead of like doing the assignment.
Really? And you turned it in?
I did, and then the teacher pulled me out of the class. Shout out Chris McDaniels. Shout out anybody that remembers the Moodle post. People remember this.
Throwback Moodle.
You could read it, you know what I mean? And like other people could comment.
You post it publicly for
It's
everyone.
like a public forum.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So
yeah.
you Moodled. What is this? It's online?
Yeah,
I
it's
remember
like a-
Moodling.
it's like a
I think I had it in
Oh,
college.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a school forum
okay.
where you'd have to
You
participate
posted
in
this
discussions.
on Moodle.
Yeah.
Holy
Moodle.
shit.
And so he's like,
How old are you at this point?
this was,
High school or?
yeah, it would have been 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you-
I think my acting up era was between probably like 11 to 17.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 18. I'll
That's
include
normal.
18 in there.
Do you remember like the ways that you roasted people? And did you spare anyone in the class? Was there like a hot girl or someone who bullied you who you're like, I'm not going to touch them?
I think I specifically roasted the teacher in the assignment. And then a couple other people were just like caught in the crossfire. But he had print. Okay, so I go into class. He has it printed out. And he's like, he has 2 copies.
But it's
right?
a roast of him. He seems like an idiot for printing it out.
He's a really smart guy.
Okay.
He was actually like, I just didn't like, I don't know. I just
He
was
put it up on his
going
wall
off.
to like motivate him to be a better teacher moving forward.
Well, so he printed out. He hands me a copy and he goes, "You're going in the hallway and you're going to highlight everything you think is inappropriate about
Okay.
this."
Oh, fuck.
So I go in the hallway. I highlight, some stuff.
Oh, you
I'm like,
did highlight some stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, maybe I should have said this, whatever. He comes out. He's like, all right, this is my copy that I have highlighted, and he's
Whole
highlighted so much more. And and then he's like, I guess he called my parents and he was like, should I suspend him? Like, what should I do about this?
He asked their opinion.
Yeah, he's like, this is like really inappropriate. Like, what should be done? And they I guess read it and were like, look, it's kind of silly.
They're like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, don't do this.
They're like, look,
But-
he's clearly a good writer.
Yeah.
I mean, what
Was
is
it an
Yeah, I don't
English
know.
class?
This was it was like a combination class. It was like one teacher did English, one teacher did social studies, but it was like a group thing.
Okay,
It was a
yeah.
weird thing.
It wasn't like math or anything, because that would be
No,
funny.
no,
to
no.
try to-
Yeah. Yeah, so social studies, I'd say.
Okay.
But how did this shake out? I guess my dad was like, look, he's 15. He can
He just,
like, you know
he
what I
just
mean?
played the like he's
a
young.
dumb- yeah. Yep.
He's young
Which
and dumb.
everyone is in the class, and they didn't do that. Yeah.
That's a good point.
I also like
point
that it was extra credit. So you could have just not done the extra credit.
Yeah, I felt comfortable bullshitting it because it was extra credit. Yeah.
That's so funny.
I was totally like,
You're like, it actually
Yeah.
won't affect my grade if I poorly if I do this.
Exactly.
He'll just judge me.
He'll
Maybe
hate
a little.
me.
Yeah, he'll just despise me.
It did impair my relationship with that teacher.
It is funny to do extra work just to roast. Like you did
Yeah.
all the actual assignments.
Yeah.
And then you gave yourself an extra assignment to just shit on them. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good though.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did a couple weird things in that class. I'm going to bring up another one. There was a project where you had to do an inventor. You had to like be an inventor, like you had to like be the inventor
Yes.
And, like, present-
yeah.
present their inventions.
Yeah.
But they gave an example where somebody did they did Disney, but instead of doing Walt Disney, they did like Mickey Mouse. And they did like a really good job with it, and they're like, get creative with it, whatever. So I did Pokemon, and I dressed up as Pikachu.
You just said Pikachu?
But I'm like, well, Pikachu can't speak English. So for like a few minutes, I'm on stage going like, Pika, Pika, Pika.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Pika, Pikachu. Pika. Yeah.
Pika, Pika, Pikachu. Pikachu so much.
And I'm fully dressed as Pikachu.
Someone raised their hand to ask a question. Pika? Pika Pika.
literally that shit.
Pika, 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 Pika.
Pikachu.
That's great.
At what point did a teacher try to stop you, or did it? This go
Okay. Okay, so it came with a PowerPoint. And
Benny.
He doesn't respond to Benny. Fine,
don't.
Pikachu.
I have an on-stage translator.
That would have been a great addition. Oh my god.
So halfway through the presentation, I had a button that I clicked that said Pokemon Translator button, and then I clicked that. And
you did?
Then I spoke English, yeah. But yeah.
Holy shit, that's
So-
amazing.
It would
Did
have
you
been.
get a good grade on this assignment? That's fucking genius.
I got a B minus.
So not really.
Yeah.
I remember getting they got mad at me for that because in the essay.
Well, you don't need a because. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, there's another part of it where in the essay I just like wrote out the Pokemon theme song.
Just starts out. What's your top sentence, Benny? I want to be the very best.
Like for word count,
no one ever was
to hit the page space.
Yeah, to like you had to like do 2 pages worth, and I'm like, I'm running low.
To catch them is my real quest.
all caps and like yeah.
All caps, triple space.
To claim them as my cause. Pokemon.
Yeah. The accent and everything. Shit, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
That was for the same class.
Yeah.
It's one assignment. It sounds like.
No, I mean as the other story.
Yeah, same as the Moodle post thing. Yeah, that was like so.
Did you go to a weird school?
No, normal public high school.
Wissahickon.
Yeah, it's just
What? You went to Wissahickon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you know people I went to Wissahickon?
no, but it was right near where we lived.
Where'd you guys go?
Yeah.
We
Germantown
went
Friends.
to Germantown Friends School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I
Quaker.
know Wissahickon. Yeah, Quaker.
I went to Quaker preschool.
Really?
Which one?
Friends school in Philadelphia.
The Friends School?
I think it's
Friends
called
Select?
Friends, something
Wait,
like
in
that.
downtown?
What's that preschool? I don't think it was like. I think elementary school might be. Maybe.
I think it's
Yeah.
Friends Select.
Yeah.
probably.
The one. It's like near. It's like off Broad a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Friends Select.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Center City, Philly, before you moved to the burbs?
Yeah. But I moved when I was like 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I went back for college.
Right, because you went to Drexel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you went to Temple. Interesting.
Nope.
What'd you go to Drexel for?
Just hanging out.
Pikachu and around.
I did some bullshit in college too.
Yeah.
I went to school for computer.
In college,
shit,
it's
but-
not as cool because you are really choosing to be there. So the teacher's like, "What the fuck is this?"
You didn't even have to come to the class.
Exactly. So just don't show up like everyone else does.
Totally.
Well, okay,
Make
so
it a
the
thing.
bullshit I did in high school was in class against teachers.
Right.
The bullshit I did in college was more like general public campus stunts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because the teachers they're not trying to be authority figures.
Stunts. I'm picturing you at the top of the tallest building on campus, like with like
wings?
a parrot. Yeah, with wings. Yeah. Behold!
Or you're like,
You jump up.
or you're like one of those people that like proselytizes, but you're just dressed as Pikachu.
No wonder they have Christianity in Pokemon.
They do.
Do
They
they?
do.
Like a Christ figure. It's
Yeah.
Mewtwo or something.
No, I think they do. I forget.
Can you go to like a church in like the Game Boy game?
I
or
forget,
something?
but I'm pretty sure that there are Christian people in the game, but I'm not 100%.
I
We
can
could look
imagine
it up. We could Google that at some point.
Vote
but-
now on your phone. Okay, now. Oh wait, so a stunt I did in college. There was an election for like some sort of position for I think for the dorm.
Yeah.
Like you're like president of the students of the dorm or whatever. So I printed out a whole bunch of posters that had like me making like a horrible face, and it was like Benny Feldman. Don't vote for me. I'm not running for anything. I put them all over the place, and
I staple it over the real.
Did you win
I think I won, but I heard the rumor was that I won. You won, but that they didn't accept me because I didn't officially put my name in the system.
Yeah, exactly.
That's classic.
Fucking awesome.
That's
dude.
classic college of people are just like because no one cared about those
Nobody gives a
elections.
shit.
I don't remember voting in any of those, like student body
Who the
president
fuck
or whatever.
voted in those?
I don't know. I
The
think
people
that
running
won,
and some of their best friends.
I think the people that won
Not
had
even
like
all of their
20
best
votes.
friends.
Like
Yeah.
Drexel has like
Yeah.
30,000 kids, and if you have like 80 votes, you're winning the election.
80 would be
Yeah.
so many votes.
Yeah.
That would be a crazy amount
But
of
then
votes.
people see this and they're like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to vote for that guy
Exactly.
to screw everyone else over."
I didn't want to wait. I remember actually because I went into some lady's office and she talked to me about like what I would do if I like what my what my goals were. And
After
I was,
you won?
with like the election, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not running. That's the point. And she was like, oh. It's like,
They wrote
I
an
don't know, she
article
thought-
in like
she thought it was like a really good like campaign you were running.
Yeah,
she's like, oh, that's a smart campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thought it was
It's like reverse psychology to get people to
don't
vote for you.
It's like it's not an anti-joke. I understand how it worked, but no, it's just a joke.
I legitimately don't want to run the school or whatever.
I was trying to make fun of because the people were putting up these like posters where it's like their best headshot, and it's like I'm a business major and a sorority girl. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? Dude, I remember at UCSB, like kids would do that. They ran, but they had like real platforms.
Yeah.
So like one platform was like, this is the whole platform was get more vending machines around campus.
Oh hell yeah!
That's what they want.
That's what it said on their thing. I don't know. I don't know anyone who voted, and I don't know the results of the election.
Didn't track the this is the problem with America right now.
There was one guy who put up posters. He was like, "We should restrict voter ID access." It was kind of weird. There's a Republican candidate. He said, "Restrict people coming on campus that aren't legally here." It's really weird.
Wait, UCSB? What's that?
Santa Barbara.
UC Santa Barbara.
And you went to, then you switched to NYU?
Yeah, and then I transferred to NYU.
Gotcha.
Yeah, halfway through sophomore year.
Same degree. Switching.
Environmental studies.
Oh, cool.
But UCSB is like a college, and NYU it's more like a job that you go like because you kind of commute in.
You got to go into the office today.
That's really what it feels like.
Oh, I got to go into econ today.
Really?
And then and everyone has internships, so it's really just like it feels like you have like a couple jobs, and one of them is school.
Did you go to Temple?
Yeah, for my first year I did, and then I went to Dickinson College, 2 hours west of us.
Is that that's like a small?
Yeah.
Is that a Catholic one too?
There might have been a religious affiliation like years ago, like 200, 300 years ago.
But you went to a smaller school, which I'm interested in hearing. Dickinson.
What compared to?
Like the elections, because you actually knew the kids who were running. Yeah. I didn't know any of these kids. I just saw their doofusy headshots, and I was like, "That kid's gay." Because I was in like 18. I was like, "He's gay," and then I'd just move on.
So I feel like it's probably a similar size to Wissahickon, which is what, like 2,000 kids.
Whoa, the college is similar to high school size?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, interesting. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it was about that size. So yes, you know all the people, but you know those people that in like high school and college like so clearly want to go into politics that they like they're like political with who they're yeah, exactly. They're like political with like how they're friends with people and how they like how you like approach them. And so it was just those kids, but at like so they were just like the kind of they were sort of nerdy, but also a lot of them are kind of dumb because they like want to go into politics in the first place. But yeah, again, I was never voting or doing any of that.
What'd you study?
I was American Studies.
What?
You ever heard of it?
No.
You ever heard of America?
No.
Well, you should. No. It's basically like the study of culture. So we'd like watch my favorite class. We'd like watch TV
sociology
shows.
major.
Yeah, kind of.
You're a sociology major, but at a school where they're like, well, we think sociology is sort of to use. I would imagine they would have the perspective that it's gay.
Sociology?
From using the like quote unquote. I don't like to use gay as a derogatory term.
Me neither.
But I imagine those people would view. Liberal arts. I don't know.
Dickinson. At Dickinson, American Studies was gay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
that's what
people would
said.
be like, that's like a girl's major. Like that was like
that's
the
what,
thing about
that's
it.
what your point is. Though,
No, you're
right,
saying
no.
The
My
name
point is
it's like American Studies.
Yeah, exactly. My point is
to make it less gay. Yeah. To try and appeal to
that
men.
is an interesting point though, because I don't think there
you listen to Rogan's podcast, you'll love this major.
Yeah,
literally.
American Studies.
The study of America.
Instead of psychology, it's like the study of like brain power.
Yeah.
No,
the study of brain power.
American Studies would be like made illegal.
The study of how your brain has a big dick.
Yeah.
Power.
Trying to think of more examples in this space. Instead of environmental science, the study of fucking outdoors.
Lion studies.
How to make it more manly.
Masculinity is dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Why don't you go down that path?
Well, I was just waiting for you to say something else.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I was agreeing, but I thought you had like more.
I got a little bit more on that. I don't like masculinity as a concept. I was watching some video where it was like the whole idea is just like, are you a big, strong man and do you go outside? And it's like, that's like the full...
Like, what video is it? Like
this guy,
on YouTube?
Yeah, this guy, his name's Big Joel, and he has a second channel called Little Joel. He's talking about... I don't know.
What are you talking about?
He's like a YouTube video
What
guy.
is this? Is this a real thing you're describing?
I guess the idea is like masculinity and femininity in the culture it's given such a high weight or whatever and like etc. But all it really boils down to is stupid surface level bullshit where it's like, if you take a guy who's like a big, strong guy with a beard, another guy who is like me, or is like, lanky or whatever, smaller, you can go, I don't know, whatever, small dude. Like people go, oh, well, that's the masculine guy, independent entirely of like
of anything else,
of any personality trait.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like such dumb bullshit like that. Or it's like surface level behaviors like, does he like to go into the woods and chop wood? Does he like
Wait, that's what this YouTuber was saying? Or that's your critique of it?
No. Actually, it might have been a different YouTuber. But yeah, pretty much. It's like, like girls pink, boys blue.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like masculinity and femininity is that dumb of a surface level idea.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I feel like the issue to me is that it's different. the definitions are different for every person. So there's not really a point. There's like a Democrat and a Republican, there's more of a cultural understanding, a shared cultural understanding of what those people believe and where they align on issues. But I feel like masculinity and femininity, it's just everyone's brought up in a family that raises you to believe those are different things. Like, I feel like masculinity, like to me personally, it's about like taking responsibility for those around you, right?
Yeah.
And trying to...
That's what it actually is, or that's what it's been taught to you to mean?
No, this is what I feel that it is. And just what my understanding of it is like to take care of those around you and like be a protector and like more of... This is how I think of it, is like someone who helps other people, uses their strength to help other people. But then some people believe it's like a Darwinism, like a fuck you, I'm an asshole. I'm just going to take what I can get, like the alpha kind of guy who's like, but I believe alpha to me means like the guy who helps everyone.
Oh, sure.
The person who actually provides value to those around him.
Totally.
But a lot of people believe the alpha is the guy who like beats the shit out of the dude and takes his money.
Literally.
I guess one of the other critiques is like the idea of positive masculinity is actually kind of... I don't like the general concepts of them, and it's because I watched some YouTube videos that told me to believe this. The point is like positive masculinity, the things we associate with that, like, responsibility, leadership, etc., are just positive traits to have for anybody, and to like necessarily be like, that's all man to men. Yeah. It's like, women should also be responsible leaders. It's like just a good positive quality.
Yeah,
and that's actually such a good point. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Wait, what's the problem with women protecting also?
Yeah, it's like
providing
exactly. So the whole point is that like masculinity and femininity are like just these made up boxes that we don't need. It's like, well, how about we instead look at like positive traits versus negative traits? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah.
But I think there's
and that's how I grew up.
Just try and tie it all back to the theme. And that was my childhood.
Well, you know what? Actually, I will tie it back.
Thank you guys for joining me on an episode of Wolf Family Therapy. What, Benny?
The idea is...
I'll see you next week. What, Benny, what?
I hate authority. I hate dominant power structures and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think like that continues to this day with being like, the dominant heterosexual masculine Christian culture is something to fight against in capitalism, etc.
That's such a good point. That's a great way to think of it.
And what are you doing? What is your part? Can you back
Tell
it
us
up?
the concrete steps you've been taking to fight that.
Because a lot of people say that, but not a lot of people do anything about it.
Well, you know what?
No, we're kidding. We don't want to hear about them. But but honestly, that's a really good point that you made.
So I'm being a little fucker. About the culture.
But also, what's interesting is like this is the whole thing with conservatives to me is they're two things at once. They're like, we're the rebels. We're the ones that stand up to authority, and then they're like, you're either a boy or a girl, and that's it. Like they enforce with like abortion, it's so obviously hypocritical, but they don't see it that way. It's just so clearly hypocritical. Same with liberal people,
or even like freedom of speech
so
and then like
obvious.
banning books.
Yeah. We believe in freedom of speech, except for when you're gay,
with,
unless you're queer, because that's your agenda. You can't push your agenda. Hold on. If there's books in school pushing the gay agenda, how's there going to be books in school pushing my agenda?
I do think it's like there's the two sides of Republicans because there's literally there's like the rich there's just like the rich ones tricking the poor ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's also just there's a big part of it with the two ones I think of are like the Appalachian like gun-toting like hick, and then there's the like nerd, like the nerdiest, most loserous guy you knew at college.
Yeah,
who like wore a suit to places.
Right. The guy we were talking about.
Get the tax.
There was one guy in my dorm like that, actually, now that I think about it.
Who'd like wear a suit.
He wore a suit and was like running for office, and he was like the biggest like Trump supporter. But like Trump supporter not for like honest, like dumb reasons, because he's like a Republican, like a upstanding Republican. He's like, he wears a suit and he loves America.
Yeah.
Like, you're the biggest loser of all time. I honestly respect the people that like Trump. Like, there's a lot of bro culture that likes Trump because he's just like a dumbass, and they like relate to that. They're like, yeah, he's like an idiot like us.
Right.
Like he like loves beer and like Burger King, and I like that part. But then the ones that are like Ben Shapiro that are like, I like the policy decisions that he's advanced. I'm like, you're a fucking loser, bro.
And you know who's calling him a loser? Trump.
Trump's like, yeah. That's such a good point.
I love you guys seen these deep fakes where it's like the gamer presidents and then Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Why is it always, it's like the presidents and then Ben Shapiro?
Well, I haven't seen those ones,
fakes?
but it's like it's pretending like Biden and Trump are playing like Fortnite together, or playing like Madden against each other.
It's so funny.
That's pretty funny.
But it's like Biden, Trump, and Obama, and then Ben Shapiro. And I think there's like some software that lets you like do it because it has their voices, and it just like the options are like 6 people. I think it's like the other 2 are Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson.
Just the people that
So
they
it's
have
like-
the most data on.
Exactly.
Like that they have their
The people that have said the most.
Yeah.
People who won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, basically.
That's so interesting. Were you raised to be? I assume you were liberal as a kid because you're a Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of Jews. What is it? I guess 85% of the Orthodox voted for Trump. Something like that.
But
They vote on one
That's
issue.
different.
That's a
Yeah.
different.
What's the
thing.
issue?
Yeah, Israel,
Israel.
Palestine.
Interesting.
It's just, are you pro-Israel? I'm voting for you.
That makes sense.
But also, every president's pro-Israel because they're one of our closest allies. They're our only real ally in the Middle East.
But how pro are you?
But how pro are you?
Yeah.
Like and also evangelicals mostly vote on that issue. If you didn't know, abortion and Israel because they believe it says in the Bible that Jesus can come back once Jews control the land of Israel.
Really?
I watched a whole documentary about it because they were like, I bet you wonder why evangelicals, the most anti-Semitic group in America, are so supportive of the state of Israel. And that's why.
I never knew that.
That's fascinating.
Whoa.
Is there like some like specific zone? Like, is there like maybe like a rock where it's like the one Jew just has
The
to
Jesus
just one rock?
Yeah. It's like Excalibur.
As long as there's a
It's like-
Jew standing on the rock, it's like Jesus can come back.
It's like what is a Jew like?
As long as
Does it mean,
Jews
like,
are
the-
king of the hill.
Exactly. Like it's like some Halo defined like perimeter where it's like you just need Jews in this zone for 20 minutes.
It's kind of like,
There's Arabs. Yeah, for 20 minutes. For 20 minutes to capture the flag.
Field contested.
it kind of reminds me of, do you remember that
That's why they're fighting over Gaza so much. It's just constantly
Trying to bring out the Messiah. If the Arabs have it for enough time, then they get some sort of mech.
it's basically it's just capture the flag, basically.
Yeah. With Israel.
What's the flag? The flag is
The Rock.
the flag is the rock.
The
itself.
rock on the mount. Baby. That's so fucking funny.
God damn.
So you weren't raised like, but they must have told you that like Israel's important and here's why.
Yeah. I've been to Israel.
Did you go on birthright or did you just visit?
I went on a synagogue trip, so I think I can still technically do birthright, but my politics have. So I went when I was 16, and my politics have changed since then. I believe Israel is an apartheid state. Whatever, etc. I think.
Wait, why? Just because they slaughter people based on their ethnicity? Based on
I think you
what?
guys are on the same page as me. It seems like it's like I do think Israel.
What? Israel? I certainly believe we're an apartheid state. Do I believe that's bad?
You know, some South African people who preferred the apartheid state there have been moving to Israel.
Really?
Yeah, that's like a story I saw. That's you know what? That's a headline I saw.
Well, you know,
it might be true. I don't fucking know.
I read it on Breitbart.
I think it was a Vice article.
No, but that would make more sense.
It was a Vice headline.
Vice headline. Yeah. There was probably an article. Did I read it? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I was never that supportive of Israel as a place because we just weren't like I feel like some Jews are baptized into support of Israel, and it's like whenever it comes up as a thing to talk about, like whenever it comes up as like, hey, maybe when someone throws a rocket at a tank, you don't murder their whole village. Mm-hmm. Whenever that is like brought up as a talking point, Jews are like, oh, you're anti-Semitic. You know, they're like brainwashed into believing this. But truthfully, I mean.
I probably understood or learned what Israel was at a probably embarrassingly late age. Because our parents...
How old do you think you were?
Like middle school, something like that. Like,
couldn't agree more, yeah.
That was probably ninth grade. No one was like, trying to indoctrinate us or anything like that as kids. Yeah. And not that your parents or family but it was just more
but they were
around you. Yeah.
My parents weren't specifically like...
You were brainwashed, and I'm glad that you found a way out.
But the Sunday school was. Like, I remember we had to bring in like news clippings about Israel.
Yeah, you know that makes total sense.
And like give a presentation and be like,
Here's why this is good or
Heights, and it's where the olives are produced. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. And this is where the olives are produced.
I'm saying that because we went there. Okay.
The
Israel took over this place.
Guys,
called
this
the
is where
Heights,
sunshine is comes from, and flowers, and everything good in the world.
And what's in the east? Israel.
You bring back a newspaper clipping of like dead kids. They're like, that's not Israel. That's a different.
Yeah.
Different one.
Oh, that's the Muslims doing that.
They pull like the Republican George Soros. They were paid. Paid actors.
But they did have responses. Actors. It would be like, okay, they launched a homemade rocket, and then Israel shot their missile defense system, and it's like they would present it as like, well, we are the smart Jews, and they are like I guess the
they
dumb
presented
Arabs.
That to you in Sunday school.
They wouldn't say it as explicitly like that, but they would be like, "Wow, look at how
sophisticated
our weapon."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yes, that's what happened. They hit us first, and so it's like it was totally presented as like.
I like the idea of the state of Israel, like a nation for Jews.
Yeah,
Zionism. I don't love the idea that we slaughter
everyone else,
Muslims, to get there.
Yeah. Totally.
And literally like move into their land.
Yes.
That's why I'm reverse doing that in Hasidic Williamsburg. I'm occupying Hasidic Williamsburg right now. This is a settlement.
I'm for the 2 Hasidic Williamsburg solution.
The 2 Williamsburg solution.
Yeah. The 2 Williamsburgs. Damn.
I'm not. I'm for 1 Williamsburg. And it's my Williamsburg.
Ben, you've talked about like Reddit, YouTube, like a lot of like internet stuff.
You're an internet kid.
Yeah. I've been online.
No, like as a kid, were you a gamer? Were you?
Oh, for sure.
Were you spending a lot of time on? Yeah,
absolutely.
What kinds of games and?
I love games.
Dude,
I love all sorts. Oh yeah, I see. Honestly, it's like there's just only a few games I don't like, which are like racing games. I have a hard I guess there's plenty of games I don't like, but genre wise, I'd say like racing consistently doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Even like Mario Kart, I have a hard time where it's like I like interacting with other people directly in a game, and I feel like racing you're kind of doing your own thing. You're just doing the race.
That's true.
Which I don't enjoy.
When you say interacting with other people, do you mean like online with the headset, or even just in the game?
You mean like fighting them?
Yeah.
You like a FPS, or what do you play? Or like a real time strategy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like first person shooters. I like real time strategy.
What did you grow up playing? Because for me, for example, the games were real time strategy, Age of Empires, and then there was one that was called like Empire of Eight. It was like the knockoff.
It was a knockoff.
Yeah, like Empire Earth.
Yeah.
And it was like Age of Empires,
just
but it went all the way to the future.
Oh, that's cool.
So like you had like rocket ships and shit. And like bombs and artillery.
I want to play that.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
It was much worse, but it was basically just a knockoff.
Yeah,
Age of Empires, but
yeah,
Empire. Those were my main ones, and then The Sims we loved. But
Sims is great.
Did you have games or did you play everything?
I played a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
At friends' houses also. Like I played GTA at my friend's house in like 4th grade.
That's crazy.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Battlefront was the best.
Trying to think. But my parents, they wouldn't get me like, M or PG-13 stuff when I was a kid, but I got like some of the Nintendo stuff, so I grew up playing like, Mario Sunshine or like Tack and the Power of Juju or whatever.
I don't even know.
I remember both of those. Yeah. What about Super Paper Mario?
I never played Paper Mario.
No, that was like our
Paper
favorite
Mario
game.
was the best.
And it's such a small niche thing that like no one else really got into.
Yeah.
We were
I watched my friend play
loved
it.
Paper Mario.
Because you went from 2D to 3D. It was sick.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Paper Mario was the shit.
It was great.
Dude.
And it was like story based. It was more story based than
That's true.
than like a Mario Kart or Mario Party, which we also loved, but
Mario Party is
fun to play those. Yeah,
Mario Party is still kind of a fun little...
It is.
Yeah, the games are good.
I had a Mario Party themed birthday. Like I grounded for a month after.
When? What?
Okay. So
I thought you meant recently.
No. This has been 4th grade, and we just like played Mario Party till 4 a.m. But we also, I think we had like, my mom had like this Raggedy Ann doll that we like got, we undressed it, and then we also got a bunch of chemicals out of like the cabinet and just poured them on.
No.
So, I don't know. I think
You just destroyed...
You said 4th grade, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the chemicals, I don't think we put them on the Raggedy Ann, but it was like, we were sexualizing my mom's favorite doll. And then also we, we're mixing a bunch of chemicals in the bathroom just to see what would happen, which is like
That's
horribly dangerous.
Yeah, that's
and then
crazy.
Putting them on my friend John while he was asleep.
Actually?
Oh,
I think so. Not all of them, but like
fuck.
kind of. He fell asleep and started like, let's put a bunch of mousse in his hair or whatever.
That's such a kid thing, and you don't realize how crazy what you're doing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we did some shit that was like that at times. Oh, I remember our stepbrother one time bit into a glow stick. And then it was like lighting up his...
Oh, I forgot about that.
You don't realize it's like bad, and then everyone else was freaking out, and he was like, wait, what? And because his mouth was like lighting up, and it's like you have to call like poison
It's that
control.
liquid,
Really?
you know?
That's
You know
poison? Oh, shit.
Because what's in
I
the
actually
glow
just
stick is like a
remembered
liquid.
another one like that.
You bite in, and then it just seeped into his mouth like kind of like a viscousy yogurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like
but
it was
glowing.
like his teeth
In
his
it was so scary.
tongue.
Oh
It was pretty
God.
terrifying.
So scary.
But it was like rainbow colored. The one that I remembered, which is similar to that, was our older brother convinced me. Basically, he thought he'd come up with like a hack to like, get rid of shit smell after you go to the bathroom.
Oh.
And the hack was he took a bottle of Febreze and had me bend over and sprayed it in my ass. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And
Burn.
it burns. Yeah, it burns. And then my mom called poison control, and just to be safe, it doesn't seem
How
like
many times have you
thing.
called poison control?
0.
Never.
Yeah.
How many times did your mom? Twice for the glow stick, and then for
The glow stick was
That
at
was
our
our
dad's
stepmom.
house.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I can't think of another time, but basically I was just like crying for like hours. And but Reese was like, Tyler,
But did it work? But did it work?
I mean, I probably. At what cost though, Benny?
It's kind of a good point.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good point, Benny. Wait, were your parents divorced?
No.
No, I'm getting the vibe.
They're still together.
Yeah.
You can tell from my happy disposition.
For some reason
yeah.
you can legit tell.
I guess you guys probably have a better clock for it because it sounds like your parents are divorced.
Yes.
And then so you can tell what the signs are of other people having a similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have,
Whereas
like-
I'd never assume anything.
Your whole like demeanor and disposition. When I think of like Benny,
Loving parents vibe.
no. What I
No, definitely.
kind of, but what I visualize when I think about you is like as you walk, like a trail of flowers like comes up behind you. Like you know, like you're just walking and it's just like beauty and nature and happiness.
Yeah.
is,
I love
is
that.
trailing you.
Wish that was true.
tweet.
Yeah.
You are kind of like a Disney princess vibe.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. It's a
No,
good
I
thing.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I guess all the
Benny's
compliment
like,
I'll
that's
take.
not masculine at all.
No, I love it. That's
Yeah, he
beautiful.
just gets upset. That's gay.
No, it's bugs. Come on. No, I mean, I appreciate that. I guess what you're saying, what I'm reading is that I have a sunny vibe.
Yeah,
Yes.
good vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
friendly, kind vibe
That's how I like to be.
with ticks thrown in there. You know, was it growing up was it weird? Like how do people react when you're a kid and you have Tourette's?
So I didn't as much. I had a lighter. Okay, so I've told the story a few times, but I'll give you an abbreviated version.
So I think
we've never heard it. Oh, you have.
Benny and I have talked about this. For those that don't know, we both started.
Well, how would they know you've talked about it?
No, they don't. They don't know that we started in Philly doing stand up.
Okay. That's right. That's how I know.
So can I give my remembered version?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm curious how wrong it is. Which is you didn't really have like outward verbal Tourette's, and you had a bad trip in college.
That's right.
That is right?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I heard that. I didn't think that was true. I thought that was made up.
No, that's
and it
what
like
happened.
slowly
Damn,
got
dude.
like more pronounced.
Where'd you hear it from?
I think probably Tyler.
From the street rumor.
If I had to guess, definitely Tyler.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Damn.
Because it's like a serotonin thing.
Wait, what? How is it related to serotonin?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a serotonin thing. You guys wouldn't even understand.
How?
It. I don't know.
It might not even be.
It actually might not. So they don't know what Tourette's is. So they think it's a serotonin imbalance, but they're not sure. But then psychedelics affects your serotonin levels, and so that's my best guess.
Okay. Have you ever done it again to try to reverse it?
I microdosed recently.
For the first time?
Yes.
In a while?
Yeah. So I have no idea. I think it was too small of a dose. I'm really concerned.
Do you still have Tourette's though? No, I'm kidding.
I do.
Clearly have Tourette's.
So growing up, I had long hair, and I would kind of like shake, and like I kind of had like a humming noise. And then when I got the hair off, I was still doing like that, and my parents were like, "Oh, he's got like a thing."
It's not a hair in the eye. They thought it was like hair in your eye.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But then it wasn't until
That is funny though, because that's such a middle school boy is just to constantly be like flipping your hair.
Exactly.
But they didn't even realize. They're just like, oh, such a middle schooler.
But they just assumed it was a nervous tick after that point.
Okay.
But yeah.
He's shy. Cut to you.
Shit, motherfucker.
One of my new ticks is, I'll kill you. I'll find you.
And it was college, right?
Yeah, 21.
Was it acid, shrooms?
Both in the same week. Okay, so basically,
Yikes.
it wasn't like immediate, like bam, the next week, more severe Tourette's, but it was an immediate. I had like paranoia and like auditory hallucinations and like I had like a couple psychotic breaks.
Yeah.
You remember
that
this?
were triggered.
Yeah, he told me about this.
Oh.
I was actually doing stand up. Did I start doing stand up in the scene?
Well, you're doing it in college.
Yeah.
Because I think you even started before I did.
I did. Yeah, I started doing stand up when I was like 20.
But not consistently, maybe?
Not consistently until I was not in the scene until I was like 22.
Okay.
But a little bit when I was, went to like a few mics.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
But what am I thinking? Yeah, so it was like 8 months where I had like an initial wave of paranoia and like auditory hallucinations, a couple psychotic breaks when I would have like weed, when I would smoke weed.
Sure.
I would like, I guess that would trigger it for some reason. I like barricaded my door. I thought people were trying to kill me, like this kind of stuff.
Damn.
But then that kind of went away and faded out. And
how long was that? Though?
About 8 months or so.
Okay.
And you weren't like seeing anyone, or you were just continuing to smoke weed and do drugs and like get paranoid.
No, I stopped after like the second or third. I was like, okay, I should not do this anymore. And it wasn't, I guess I would have gone to see somebody if it was getting worse, but it was the worst initially. And then it like
and
faded.
then it
slowly went down. But as it went down, the Tourette's kind of faded in. And so like,
What?
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Holy shit.
I was working an internship, and I remember sitting in my cubicle, and like I was holding a pen, just standing on my hand holding a pencil, and I would go like that, and I'd be like, I didn't fucking do that. I was like kind of like freaking out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That doesn't help with the paranoia, I'm sure.
No.
Who the fuck is moving my pen with my hand? Who's using my hand to move the pen?
I've got a ghost or something.
Do you remember the first curse?
I get it.
What? No, that's a good question. I actually don't remember the first curse.
No.
Yeah, I remember all the initial body stuff. I remember that really
The
well.
first curse was the N-word. I realized pretty quick I had to phase that one out.
Because that's like, I mean, eventually it was clear, but the cursing is like, you know, when you stub your toe and you feel like you have to curse.
Yeah,
that's kind of like just what it felt like initially. Like, just sometimes you got to curse.
Just got to get it out. Yeah.
But I guess,
So
what?
So you just said you microdosed recently. Did you just stop doing all drugs completely?
No. Yes, but then I got back into it. Like, okay, so I stopped doing drugs then, but then once it was only Tourette's and like not like the mental stuff, I then would smoke weed once in a while, and then have like an anxious breakdown or something. Not a psychotic break as much, but like just really anxious. And then over the last like year or two, I've been like, I took like I bought a pen and did like the tiniest puff in the world and tried to like ease my way back into it, and that worked.
Yeah.
So now I'm considering possibly trying to do that with psychedelics, but
yeah,
I don't know. I also might not though. I kind of don't want to fuck up my brain.
Even more.
It
doesn't sound like
terrifying.
the greatest idea, but I don't know. It's your life. Live it.
Yup. Y'all do psychedelics?
You come in next time with super Tourette's. Every 2 seconds.
Something I learned recently is that it's not because so my Tourette's is more chill when I'm chilling, but I found out some people it's not continuous at all, where it's like they'll have attacks or whatever, and then like nothing, and then an attack, which I think.
But yours is pretty consistent, right?
I would say I can go for a few hours with like nothing. But it is consistent to, there's like usually if I'm at this level, I'll be doing like some of that stuff. But yeah, it definitely, mine kind of goes down and then hits a low level, but it can go below the threshold of nothing forbidden. If I'm like playing a video game, but then again, I don't know. I think if I was in my room playing a video game, there's like a good chance that I'm like going like this and like not even knowing it.
You just don't notice. I mean? Yeah, I know what you mean. Do you do it in your sleep? Has anyone?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So interesting.
That's wild. And it sounds like it's pretty unexplainable or unexplored, like in terms of what doctors and scientists are learning about it. They're just kind of like, this thing happens. It's fucking, we don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you grew up as like a pranking Jew. And then God pranked you.
It sounds like a Talmud character.
The pranking Jew.
The pranking Jew.
Yeah. Like Anansi from like the African fables.
Jeremiah the donkey.
And that's how he got the land of Israel and a bag of apples.
It's like how they bought Manhattan, but they with Israel.
Wow.
Well, Benny.
Yeah.
Oh, Benny,
for coming.
Time?
Yeah. Now that we
Great
know
episode.
that you have Tourette's.
Hilarious comedian, by the way. Really
thank
funny.
you. Appreciate that.
Really good.
You guys are also both
Stand
great.
up. What's your
a family of talented brothers?
What's your social media?
Feldfrog. It's my name, but frog. It's a man.
Do you tweet? I feel like you'd have a great Twitter.
I tweet all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a big,
appreciate
big
that.
tweeter.
Sorry, I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know.
No, but I appreciate you not
Yeah.
knowing and assuming. That's
Yeah.
kind of you.
Yeah.
Now that we know that you have Tourette's, we do think you should come back next week, though. So we're gonna have an invoice on the way out. You do pay us for doing this.
Yeah. We fix your Tourette, so you're gonna need to pay us.
That sex cult claims to fix it. That NXIVM.
Nexium.
Yeah.
Claims to fix Tourette's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
well, maybe
Did
you
you
should
think about
I think about it.
maybe you should try that. But
if that doesn't work, just come back to us and we'll
if
fix it.
Nexium, the sex cult, doesn't fix your Tourette's, please come back for another therapy session.
We'll try our own. We'll try our own sex cult.
Next episode, we're
Maybe
just
that's
blowing you.
what
Oh my God, Benny.
The podcast is very different
worth a
now.
shot.
Why is it so girthy?
Anyway, check out Benny, one of the funniest fuckers out there.
Great fucking comedian.
Benny,
Check
thank you
these
so
guys
much for
out.
being here.
Check out their podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Good night.